Welcome to Getting Gourmet. Today we'll be making a pumpkin pie tiramisu. Up here in Canada, our Thanksgiving is a lot earlier than the American Thanksgiving. It's actually halfway through October. So to start off our fall season and bring in that pumpkin and spice latte kind of feel back into the kitchen, we'll be making this pie. Okay, so the appliances that we're going to need today will be a mixer. Here I have a hand mixer. If you have a stand mixer and like to use that better, go right ahead and use it. We're gonna need a couple of bowls because we're gonna be making a sponge cake instead of a pie crust. I have 4 eggs, a stick of butter, nutmeg, allspice, and cloves. I have here a long loaf pan for the cake. We have some cinnamon, mascarpone, a puree pumpkin in a can. If you know how to make your own pumpkin puree, go right ahead, and if you like that better, go right ahead. I actually don't, and this is going to be a lot faster for me today. We need a cup of fresh coffee, some heavy cream, icing sugar, and some flour. Awesome, let's get started.
Cool, so next you want to spray down your loaf pan. You want to make sure everything is covered, and then you want to set aside. And then take your 4 eggs and separate them from egg whites to egg yolks. We will be using all 4 eggs. Put the egg whites into a separate bowl and whisk until they have hard peaks. This should take about 3 to 4 minutes. Once they have nice peaks, set the bowl aside. In a separate bowl, you want to mix in 1.5 cups of granulated sugar and 1 cup of butter. Here I'm only going to use half a cup. Mix until it's nicely blended and fluffy. And slowly add 1 yolk at a time. Make sure to bring down the sides with a spatula as you're mixing. Once everything is beaten together, gently add your egg whites. And then fold in until well incorporated together. You want to make sure the mixture is nice and fluffy and you don't want to overmix, so just fold it in together until just mixed. Now that everything is folded together, you want to add your flour. Make sure you're adding 2 cups, 1 cup at a time. Alright, and take a spatula and take down the sides of the batter and do the flour again. Once everything is mixed, put it into your loaf pan and make sure it's evenly spread out. The oven should be at 350 degrees Fahrenheit and cooked for about 65 minutes. Alright, next we're going to do the mascarpone filling while the cake is baking. You're going to put in 1 cup of heavy cream and 3 tablespoons of powdered sugar. You're going to whip it until it's nice and hard peaks like whipped cream. And once it's all whipped, you want to add your 8 ounces of mascarpone cheese. That'll add to at least 1 cup. Once you add the mascarpone cheese, mix together with a spatula and then set aside. Now we're going to do the pumpkin. Add 3/4 cup of heavy cream and 1/4 cup of powdered sugar. Whip it again until it's nice and whipped creamy, and then add their 2 cups of pumpkin pie. Mix it together with 1/2 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg, 1/4 teaspoon of allspice, a 1/4 teaspoon of ginger, and a 1/4 teaspoon of ground cloves. Awesome, so now that the cake is finished and has been cooled for 15 minutes, you want to cut it lengthwise and then widthwise to make small pieces of pound cake. Now that you have at least 1/2 inches of the cake, it's time for the fun part. You want to put half of the mixture of pumpkin into the tiramisu pan that you're going to be using. And then you want to put some pound cake on top. Layer it down flat. Next, take your coffee and spread it all over. You can even mix some Kahlua in there. And then add the mascarpone cheese on top. And then repeat with the pound cake. Add more pumpkin and more pound cake, and then drizzle on top the rest of that cup of coffee. Finish it off with the rest of the mascarpone cheese. Once that's done, dust the top with cinnamon and nutmeg, and it's all finished. Make sure to keep it in the fridge before serving for at least 1 to 1.5 hours.
Awesome! Now we're all done and the whole kitchen smells like pumpkin and cinnamon. It smells really good in here. So as you can see, there's really nice layers of the pumpkin pie and the mascarpone filling and the pound cake that we just made. It's really heavy too, oh my gosh. I'm so excited to try this. Okay. I'm only gonna take a little scoop out. Oh, and you can see that it's so nice and moist from the coffee that we poured on top of the cake. It looks so good. Okay. I think I like this better than regular tiramisu. I like the pumpkin isn't really overwhelming, it's so nice and soft. And the coffee makes it taste like real tiramisu. This is really good. Hopefully everyone that you make this for at Thanksgiving dinner or American Thanksgiving, I have to think about that. Because it's a really nice twist on the traditional pie, and it makes it nice and classy for a kind of a different feel for a traditional dinner. Awesome, so I really hope you like this recipe, and I hope you tune in next time. Bye.